What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Thanks for hanging out with me today and commenting and engaging and all that stuff. Really appreciate you guys. We're taking a look at a PMP Beast Bronze. And no, this is not some old knife I picked up on the secondhand market. This is actually a prototype for the upcoming Generation 2. Supposedly the upcoming Generation 2. I think there's still some questions as to whether it's going to be viable or not from a pricing standpoint. But this is one of 5 of the original prototypes that went to Blade Show 2025. Now, there's a huge problem with this knife, or at least in my opinion, it's a huge problem with this knife. And I could use your guys' help to figure out if, I don't know, I want to know what you guys think about this. So I've already, obviously, I've mentioned there's a huge problem with this knife. I have already opened this knife. I actually shot an unboxing yesterday when it came in. But I was so upset about the issue that it came across a little too intense, a little too whiny, right? Because it was a real raw reaction, really kind of took me off guard, and I didn't like the way the video turned out. It was too much. I didn't frame it. And, you know, I also started to question, am I overreacting or not? So I'm going to talk about that issue here in a second. But first, let's go over what we're looking at. What we're looking at here. Sorry about that. So the Beast is kind of the knife that started PMP's whole race to be the thickest, heaviest, crazy knife ever, right? So this predates, or at least this, you know, the Beast predates the whole Alpha Beast thing, which took it to the next level. So this is actually kind of the, you know, I really like the size of this. It's about a 1/4 inch stock blade. It's really thick. It's really beefy, but I don't know. I don't want to say it's within the realm of like usable or normal, but it's like manageable, right? It's insane. It's really, really heavy. It's really big, but it's not as ridiculous as the Alpha Beast, obviously, as the name indicates. And so I actually kind of like this size, 13.7 ounces, which is wild. It actually has some lightning pockets in it. You can see those channels. Now, I feel like they're not as deep as they could be. I don't know if you can see that lip back there. But you've also got milling here. Now, this uses a brand new proprietary steel that is being used by Midgard's Messer. It is their Viking hybrid steel that they developed with Böhler. I don't have details on it. I don't know what the makeup is of it, but it is a proprietary steel that they're starting to use on some of their knives. I think the Mini Beast is using it as well. This is number 2 of 5 PMP knives, Beast Gen 2 right there. I really wish it actually said prototype on it. It doesn't explicitly say prototype, but that's what it was sold as. You know, it's one of 5 that went to the Blade Show. This is made by Fox Knives in Italy. The blade is outstanding. I really, and this is why I'm kind of torn on this, right? With the issue that it has. Normally, I would say it's going back, right? I'm not going to deal with this. It's going back. The only thing holding me from that is I really, really like this knife. It is, you know, one of 5 prototypes, so it can't be swapped out for another one. It would have to go for either a completely different knife or refund type thing. But I love the grind on this blade. I love this kind of quasi-tanto type thing, but it's not a compound grind. It doesn't have a point right here. Something about it just looks so good with this shark fin like point on the top here. It's got this awesome fuller, giant thumb studs, really good jimping. I also love the bronzing on this. Looks really, really nice. And the finish on this blade too, it's got this subdued like, I don't know, almost acid washed, maybe over the top of a stone wash. I'm not even sure. It looks really, really good, and it works with this bronzing so well. You can see I don't even have, I don't have the protector thing taken out of that. And we'll talk about that in a minute here. Full titanium, big, beefy, insane boy, but I love the look of this thing. Everything is done so well on everything else, perfectly centered. All the machining is so nice. You can see how everything lines up very, very well. I have taken this apart because I've actually, you know, part of the problem I've actually mitigated a little bit. Probably should have undone it for this video for full effect, but I'll explain it. Lock bar insert, like everything seems like it's done so well. There's no side to side. It is rock solid. You can see the lockup right there. It seems like it's done so well, and yet it has this issue. The detent is completely off. Like, look, this is all detent movement, right? This is all play. You can actually get the tip almost out before it completely breaks. This is probably, this happens. I've had this on Striders, never to this degree though. This is pretty egregious. Like, this isn't just tolerances being off. This is full on, they didn't drill the detent hole in the right place, or they didn't put the stop pin in the right place. Like, this is full on, like, it is moving. I don't know, what is that? Like 2 millimeters, millimeter and a half. Like, that's a lot of movement. And it is bizarre because everything is done so well. All the tolerances are so nice, and that is completely off guard. Also interesting, they used a white silicone carbide, I think it's silicone carbide detent ball. A very large one too, right there. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, you said it's a prototype, right? Who says it's going to be perfect? Well, I would consider, I mean, this is basic knife making. This isn't part of like the design. Like, you know, if I buy a prototype and it's a little off, you know, it's usually maybe the the blade grind isn't conducive for cutting as well as it could be. Maybe there's like a weird hot spot. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable to unlock because it's got a sharp edge, right? Like little details that can be fixed with the design. This is just knife making, right? This would be like getting a prototype that doesn't lock. That shouldn't have made it to prototyping stage. Now, this isn't quite as bad as not locking, but this is pretty bad. And every time I go to grab this thing, you know, it clicks like that, it moves, and it just freaking bugs me. Now, I was on the brink of reaching out to midgardsmesser.com, which is where I bought this from, to say, hey, this is unacceptable, I'm going to send it back. But this was Friday afternoon. I knew they probably wouldn't see the email till Monday, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to sit on it for the weekend, do content on it, not mess with it. Actually, I did mess with it. Do content on it, and then, you know, maybe Sunday afternoon I'll make a decision. I also reached out to PMP directly on Instagram just to say, hey, I've got this thing. Because I hate it because I want this knife, but man, this is going to drive me nuts. Now, the other thing that I mitigated is this stop pin. So it would rattle like this way because it had a bunch of play. Now, I took it apart and put a O-ring in this hole right here so it doesn't do that anymore. And it would also just free spin, right? Because when it's closed like this, the detent ball is going in the hole, and it's actually in there pretty decent. You know, like it's not an issue of the hole and the detent ball being misaligned in terms of size. The problem is that it's not engaging with the stop at all. Like, it's not touching this at all, right? It is right here, not right here. Now, if you look at this knife, this looks like where it should be, right? In terms of the closed position. Like, this seems like the blade's kind of angled down a little too much. So to me, that indicates that this stop pin hole should be shifted forward like a millimeter and a half, which would probably not affect lockup much. It might move it a little bit earlier, but I'm thinking that's what the issue is that the stop pin holes were set back a little too far. And so this right here, which is what engages with that stop pin, is not, you know, it's not aligned, right? It's not aligned. Now, there's usually a couple ways you can try to fix that. One way is by increasing the size of the detent ball, but that's usually only when you have a misalignment with the hole in the detent ball, which isn't the case here. Another thing you can do is put in a larger stop pin. The problem here is that the stop pin is used in the open and closed position. So if you put in a larger stop pin, which of course would be quite a bit of work, you'd have to drill out a bigger hole. You'd have to get probably a custom stop pin built. I mean, that's not a standard stop pin size, but it would affect the lockup, right? It would push this lockup. I mean, it probably wouldn't lock up because there's not a, you know, this needs to go forward like a millimeter and a half, and you can't, there's not a millimeter of room here for that at all. So I don't think there's a way to actually fix this. Now, there is a couple, you know, jerry rig things I could do. You know, some Bubba Gump backyard finagling I could do to try to fix this. But, you know, I don't know if I want to do that. So it is what it is, I guess. For now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would this like bug you or what? I don't know. Nothing was listed on the ad. You know, it didn't say anything like, oh, hey, by the way, it's a prototype. You know, some of the tolerances are off. Be aware. However, I do wonder about the price. So these were listed on Midgard's as $3.99. In my opinion, that sounds like, you know, what the production price might be for something like this. You know, blade stock this thick, proprietary steel. It's probably not too expensive, but, you know, it's also not just D2. Titanium, made in Italy, something of this measure here. I don't see the production knife coming in under like $3.99. Now, they also listed the Ultimate Alpha Beast for sale prototypes, and those were almost double the production cost. So those went for almost $1,000 for those prototypes. Now, there might be other reasons as to why those went for higher, but I did find it odd that these 1 of 5 prototypes for Blade Show were not listed at a higher price. And it does make me wonder if it's because they knew, you know, that these had some issues, right? But I also have no idea if they all had this problem or it was just mine. I don't know. I'm kind of in the dark here. I'm rambling. The reason why I wouldn't normally make a video like this, the reason why is because I actually really like this knife. The other thing is I want to bring up, I don't know what the production knife is going to look like. What I've seen from some of these prototypes is they have more of a custom-ish finish to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this finish, this kind of darkened, stonewashy, like really cool type finish isn't going to appear in the production knife. It's quite possible the productions are going to just be blasted or normal stonewash or, you know, maybe DLC or something, and it wouldn't have this kind of really nice, soft, bronzy type look to it. So part of me thought, you know what, return this and just get the production version and hope the issue's fixed. I don't know if that's going to satisfy me as much. I really like this knife. I just, man. Oh, and if it was only like, if it was slighter, if it was just like, you know, a little bit of movement, I could just deal with it. I've dealt with it on other knives. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't affect function, but every time I go to pick it up, it clicks. And I know every time anybody picks this up, it's going to click and they're going to be like, whoa, what's that? And the fact that even to get it to this level of presentation, I had to put an O-ring in here to keep this thing from just rattling around. I don't know, just frustrating. But comment down below what you think I should do. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, this is a stupid knife anyways. You should never have bought it. So return it. And that's valid. I get that. But I really think it looks cool. All right, guys, talk to you later. I'm out.